Yo, what's up fanbase, it's your boy Blaze Hollow coming at you with a redo of What If Deku Had All for One. I know a lot of people were telling me to continue the story that I was doing, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I was getting annoyed, I had characters that weren't even really necessary and plot lines that just were technically pointless. So I want to redo it again. This time I'll actually have some help. My good friend Ed, who is also my editor, along with one of the greatest pillars of the What If community, Kirisho. Both of them will be teaming up to help me tweak and look over the story. So don't expect a lot of things to be the same. There will be some things that I did keep and other things that I got rid of. So with all that said, let's start that intro and get into it.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
We start our story off in the Endeavor agency as the three unlikely individuals were brought into Endeavor's office as the man himself looked up from his paperwork annoyed but also curious for them to be here. What can I do for you, All Might? As you can see, I'm actually very busy with paperwork, so I hope that you can make this quick. All Might looked to his right, seeing Sir Night-Eye typing away at his phone as he then looked to his left, seeing a very impatient Gran Torino. Well, you could see my associates and I are getting ready for battle. I'm very sure that you've heard about the incident that happened in America. Endeavor leaned back in his chair annoyed. Am I to assume that you're talking about the death of Stars and Stripes? Even though it is tragic for America, how does that involve me? Gran Torino banged his cane on the floor. Look here, youngling, I understand that you don't like working with All Might, but we have a lead on the villain who did this, so we really need your help. Night-Eye pulled out a small folder that was within his jacket pocket as he placed it on the desk. The villain in question is known as All for One. His ability allows him to steal quirks. It's believed that he stole Stars and Stripes' ability after fleeing back to Japan. So we're hoping that he is still injured so we can get a jump on him and finally capture him. Endeavor grabbed the folder as he looked through it, finding it to be a little bit suspicious how someone like All for One could stay under the radar for so long. And what exactly do you expect me to do? Seems that you already have enough firepower by yourself, All Might, including your associates being capable themselves, so why me? All Might stopped smiling as he finally got serious. Listen, Endeavor, we both know that there's a major power gap between the both of us, but this villain that we are trying to take down might be even more powerful than myself. That's why I'm asking for your help, so why don't you put the paperwork away and actually start doing some real hero work with us? Endeavor did not like being spoken to like this, but he knew that All Might never get serious unless it's very important. Fine, where are we meeting up? Night-Eye looked at his phone as he got a ping the next second. We've been able to track him down to an apartment complex. We should hurry because it might rain today. All Might chuckled a little bit. I hope that's not going to be a problem for you, Flame Hero. Endeavor just glared at the three of them. Just send me the address. I'll be there shortly, but I need to prepare some stuff myself. The trio nod their head as they leave the office, but we cut away from them as we see a man in an apartment complex wearing a black suit with white hair knocking on a door, frantically, only for the door to open to reveal Inko Midoriya, who was wondering who was knocking on her door so much, only for her to realize that it was her husband. Masashi, is that really you? Masashi was so happy to see his wife, but was still shaking knowing what he just went through. Hey, I know it's been a while, and I'm happy to see you, but can I come in? I need to talk to you and Izuku about something very important. Inko was concerned while helping her husband inside and having him sit down on the couch. Izuku, come here, I have a surprise for you. That's when a 10-year-old Izuku came running towards the living room, wondering what his mother needed. That's when he saw his father sitting on the couch. Excitement seemed to fill his eyes as he got closer to his father, jumping into his arms and giving him a very very tight hug. Dad, you're finally home. What's the occasion? Masashi winced as he was still feeling the pain in his body from the battle in America. There is a lot that I have to explain to you and your mother, but I might not have a lot of time. Inko was starting to get concerned. What exactly is happening? Masashi put his son on the couch right next to him. I'm sure you heard the news about the #1 hero of America, right? Izuku was the first to speak up. You're talking about the villain that ended up killing her, right? Masashi nodded his head as he just put his hands all over his face. I'm the one who killed her, but I didn't mean to. There's so many things I need to explain, but I just don't have a lot of time. I already know that they're on their way to find me, but I technically am putting you both in danger because I wanted to see you both one last time. Inko sat down on the couch trying to hold her husband. What are you talking about? You're not making any sense. Before Hisashi could even start to explain why he was so distraught, he started to pick up on something, or someone, who he was hoping that he would have more time before running into. As a loud echoing boom could be heard as the entire building started to shake, All Might started crashing through the unstable building, causing parts of it to collapse. As he stepped as hard as he could, causing him to smash into Hisashi, causing the both of them to go through the building, causing more of it to come down. As rubble and dust was kicking up, Izuku was shocked as he turned away and blinked his eyes so the dust wouldn't get into them. As he turned back, he could see his mother's arm sticking out of the rubble. Mom? He rushed over to the rubble, trying to see if he can pick it up, only for him to fail and freak out as he looked back and forth, seeing that his home is now in shambles as he started to scream out desperately, Help! Somebody please help, we need a hero. Realizing that no one was coming, Izuku ran out of his apartment with tears running down his face. Freaking out, looking left and right, trying to see if there were any other heroes on the scene. As soon as he was about to go down the staircase, he could hear another boy crying as he stopped and looked inside, seeing where there was another hole in the building. Sitting there in the pile of rubble was a boy with magenta-like hair as he was crying in front of a pile of rubble, so Izuku was making his way over to him. Are you okay? It's not safe in here. We need to go find a hero. The magenta-haired boy looked back with tears running down his face. My parents were just crushed. What is going on? Why are the heroes attacking this area? Izuku couldn't think straight. Everything was just going crazy. There was loud noises going on all over the place as parts of the building were still coming down, so he started to hyperventilate out of panic. I don't know, but we gotta get out of here and hopefully find somebody that can help our parents. The magenta-haired boy stood up with tears going down his face as he looked at the boy with white hair. Who are you? Izuku grabbed onto his hand. My name is Izuku. Let's go find some help. Both of them nodded as they rushed towards the stairwell, but we cut away towards the battlefield with All Might and Hisashi, who were causing mayhem in the streets. Nearby buildings were catching fire, some having holes put into them. By the amount of force the both of them were throwing around, as the both of them were in a deadly grip of strength with each other. They looked each other in the eyes, but All Might had a signature smile on his face, but it didn't seem that of heroics. It seemed to be a little bit wicked. It ends today, All for One. Sashi glared at him, hating that title, knowing that it was something forced upon him by one accident. You know that's not my name, just like how I know you're not even using your real name. All Might started to bring down more pressure, like he was trying to snap Hisashi's hand just to shut him up. Well, whatever the truth is, I'll be dying with you, and maybe, just maybe, for good measures, I'll take out that son of yours. Hisashi started to see red the moment that he heard that, as he kicked All Might in the stomach, separating the both of them only for a second, only to bring up his hand to his opponent's chest and launch a massive air burst. Stay away from my son, you bastard. Hisashi was catching his breath a little bit, seeing that his enemy was sent flying for a few miles, but decided to rush back to the apartment complex. Upon getting there, he saw that his son, along with another boy, was still on the 3rd floor, so he zoomed in, grabbed the both of them, and got them to the ground floor quickly. As the building finally fully collapsed, as nothing was left but rubble. As he touched down, he put both of the boys on their feet as he was hunched over, holding onto his knees, catching catching his breath. God damn it, I'm still not fully recovered from my battle in America, and all my being here is not helping the situation go through smoothly. In one of the nearby alleys watching this entire situation was Endeavor, who was confused seeing a villain save both of those boys before the building finally gave out, along with the battle between All For One and All Might causing damage to the city, but all the damage was caused by All Might not holding back his strength while the villain was playing on defense, while also making sure none of the people were caught in the crossfire. It was all very confusing for him as a loud coughing could be heard, breaking Endeavor out of his trance as Asashi walked over to his son, placing a hand on his head. Izuku, I don't expect you to forgive me for today or understand what's going on, but I'm very sorry. I don't have time to explain, but somebody will give you answers in time. I'm leaving you with a gift. I know it will never make up for me being gone all this time or for what happened today, but I need you to understand that I truly do care about you, son, and that I never stop thinking about your mother. Izuku was still freaking out, not understanding what his dad was telling him. What are you talking about, Dad? What is going on? Why are you fighting All Might? Why is our house destroyed? I just don't understand what's going on. Asashi smiled as he held on to his son. You should know, a few days before you were born, I was dragged into all of this. I never got to hold you. I never got to be a good father for you, or be a good husband for your mother, but I'm hoping with this I can make up for it just a little bit. Izuku leaned his head into his father's chest, just crying out. He didn't care anymore. He didn't want to know what his father was saying or what was going on. He just wanted to be held by his dad, hoping that he could just make the pain go away. Whatever you're about to do, don't. Just stay here with me. I don't know what happened to Mom, but maybe we can save her. Just don't go. Sashi separated from his son so he could look at him in the eyes, placing his hand right back on top of his head. I wish I could stay, son, but it just wasn't meant to be. Sashi transferred a group of quirks to his son as he could hear him screaming out for a second, and then falling over passed out as he gently caught him, laying him on the ground as he noticed a magenta-haired boy rushing towards him trying to punch Asashi. The best he could, but his punches didn't seem to leave any effect, only for him to see the mysterious man reach out his hand and put it on his head just like Izuku. This causes the boy to feel something go through his body like he was being given something, but it caused him to pass out as Endeavor came running out of the alleyway. Stop right there. What have you done to both of those children? Asashi smiled, seeing the flame here, especially since he looked confused about the situation, since anybody outside of the loop would be. Thank God, a real hero actually showed up. Please take these children to safety. The one with the white hair is my son. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I need you to take them out of here. I'm truly sorry for what has happened to your city, but I can't stop him, and now I've been put on a death clock for myself for what I've just done. Endeavor was on guard, taking a few steps towards the children, but he also noticed that the villain was taking a few steps back to help the hero feel safe so he can get closer to them. I truly do not understand why you are trying to help those around you. You're not even fighting at your true strength, and you seem to be applying something to these kids that most adults or anybody in high society would not even know. Asashi chuckled as he could feel his body aching, burning, and tearing apart, but it seemed to be spreading slowly. Your hero of Japan, or possibly the symbol of the world, is not what he seems. I don't have time to explain it all to you, especially since I can feel him getting closer and closer, so please protect my son. Someone will eventually come and give him the answers, and if he's smart like his mother and myself, he will share the truth with those who need to know it, so please go. Endeavor scooped up both of the boys as he started to run away with them quickly, but then stopped and turned back to Asashi. Is there any final words that you have for your son, or maybe something that you would like to be remembered by? Asashi looked up towards the sky as he could see All Might coming down at a very fast rate. Tell him to always look underneath the underneath. Nothing is ever simple and everybody has a story. It's best to hear it before you judge them. That is what I wish for you to pass on to my son, because he will become somebody who will look for the true answers of this world. Endeavor nodded as he ran into one of the nearby alleyways trying to get out of there, as he could hear a loud crashing noise from behind behind them, along with a flurry of blows that were screaming out in rage and sorrow. What followed after all of those gruesome noises was a massive explosion. By the time the dust cleared, only one person could be seen standing in the crater as the media copters were flying overhead, seeing that their symbol of peace with his fist raised in the sign of victory with a charming smile on his face. As we cut away to one of the rooftops, a man with red wings and a tactical visor over his eyes was contemplating. The higher-ups are not going to like this, and I don't like what the future holds for that child, so what should I do now? We cut to a few hours later as Izuku was waking up in a bed, seeing a ceiling that was made up of white tiles and the smell of cleaning products was all over the room. As his head was throbbing, he could hear the sound of somebody crying in the room. He looked over to his right to see the magenta-haired boy. At the same time, that boy noticed Izuku moving. The boy was a little bit happier to see that his new friend was actually alive. "You're awake. Thank God, I thought that guy killed us, but it doesn't seem like he did anything except for knocking us out." Izuku sat up in the medical bed as his body was still aching. "Wait, where is my dad, and who are you? I don't think I got your name earlier." He was rubbing his arm, remembering overhearing the doctors outside their door talking about that they were the only survivors of the incident. "My name is Shinzo. As for your dad and everybody else that we knew," he started to tear up, not being able to control himself anymore. "They didn't make it. I overheard the doctors earlier saying that we were the only survivors." Izuku's 10-year-old mind was railing, knowing that he lost not just his home, but both his parents, and he doesn't even know what's going to happen to him or what his father was talking about in his final moment. What's going to happen to us? Shinzo just hung his head low. "I don't know. The doctor doesn't seem to want to tell us anything, or maybe they're just waiting for somebody else to show up." As if waiting outside the door, the doctor came into the room, surprised to see that both boys were awake. He knew that one of them was up, but the other one was supposed to still be unconscious. "This will save time for everybody. I'm here to give you a checkup to make sure that you're both okay. I understand that you've gone through something traumatic today. We are going to make sure that you're both healthy and nothing harmful has happened to you since you were close to the epicenter of this event." Izuku felt like he had ringing in his ears while he was listening to the doctor, like this man in front of him was trying to dance around the subject, but was also trying to bring it to the forefront. His head was just too badly reeling to focus. "What kind of test are you going to do to us?" The doctor realized that he made one of the kids uncomfortable while also wishing that he wasn't assigned to this, mainly because his department doesn't usually deal with children, but since they were short-staffed, he had to step in. "Sorry there, little buddy. I didn't mean to worry you. I'm just going to take some blood from you and see if anything has gotten into your bloodstream. Afterwards, we're going to be doing a physical. Do you understand the situation?" Izuku truly did not understand. Usually his mother would be helping him out in these situations, but that thought just made him sad. "Not really, sir, but I'm sure you're going to do what's right by the both of us, right?" The doctor had a sad expression, knowing that he's really not good with talking with kids, seeing how he made both of the boys more depressed. So he decided to keep his mouth shut and then just take a few samples of blood and leave the both of them in the hands of a nurse to check over the both of them, as he was gonna go do some genetic research on the blood samples he just took. An hour or two goes by as the doctor actually discovers something very interesting over both of their medical records, comparing them to the data he has right now. This is truly fascinating, but it's also impossible. The quirk factor that they have awakened within both of the boys shouldn't exist, yet it does. We cut away from the hospital to the Hero Association boardroom, where members of the top 10 were supposed to be meeting, but only a few of them have shown up so far. But at the head of the table, of course, was the #1 hero himself, accompanying him by his sidekick and his teacher. As we see outside of the room was Hawk. As he was looking down the hall, he sees Endeavor showing up up with a very annoyed look on his face with a briefcase in hand. Hey there, Endeavor. Crazy incident today, right? Endeavor stopped in front of the door, not really in the mood for small talk. What do you want, Hawks? I'm not really in the mood after what just happened today. Hawks had a non-casual look on his face. A little birdie told me that the association should be sending a representative to this meeting along with child services, so this is going to be one very long and very boring meeting. Endeavor turned to the bird-like man as he was curious, wondering how he knows that these things are going to be happening and why those two factions would be sending representatives. Why would the commission have a representative of their own? More importantly, why does child services need to be involved? This is a hero situation, not an orphanage situation. Fox gave Endeavor a serious look. Really, are you just trying to play innocent, or are you trying to hide the fact that you were the one that saved the two surviving children from this incident? Endeavor had a sharp glare, remembering that he had the entire involvement with him passing the children to the medical vicinity moved off the record. How exactly do you know that? Only people who were there or those who were spying would know that. Fox put his hands up defensively, trying to chill out the mood. I'm just saying, it's not that hard on social media when pro-heroes are passing off children to paramedics. You know how kids are nowadays. If there's a chance to make a good TikTok or YouTube shorts, they'll take a chance on it. Endeavor takes some time to think about it and remember some interesting interactions with his own children that would check that out. Fair enough, I'll give you that, but my question is, where do you stand in this incident? I don't remember seeing you there, but you have this feeling like you were watching. You're way too smug, and standing out here instead of just sitting down means that you wanted to say something to me or other people before they went into this meeting. Fox was chuckling as he pulled out his phone, seeming to be responding to a text message. I think you're giving me a little too much credit. Just relax and just be careful to read in between the lines. Both of them finally went inside, taking their respected seats at the table. Still waiting on a couple of them to show up, but All Might tapped a part of the table right in front of Endeavor, seeming to try to get his attention to make small talk. I was a little concerned about you when I didn't see you on the battlefield. Did you get lost? I know that when you're not in your original city, things get turned around pretty easily. Endeavor didn't know what to say. He wanted to so badly slap the handcuffs on All Might for reckless endangerment of the citizens and overuse of force. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish to not speak with you until everybody else is here. All Might frowned. Oh, come on, don't be like that. I know that this went a little bit out of hand, but sometimes this happens. Before Endeavor could explode with a fury towards All Might, a man in a business suit with black sunglasses walked into the room with a briefcase with the insignia of the Hero Safety Commission, along with a woman with a business dress and a briefcase that had the symbol for child services on it. Both of them looked up at the situation, feeling a little bit uncomfortable, as they took a seat at the furthest end of the table, away from the number 1 and number 2. But not too far behind them, the rest of the top 10 started to file their way in, all except for the number 10, who seemed to be running late. So Best Janus thought that he would get the ball rolling without the number 10 hero. Even though we're a member short, I feel like we need to get this meeting started, so who wants to start the case of why this all happened? But with that all said, guys, I'm going to leave this part off. I hope you enjoyed this remake. It took a long time and a lot of work. Big shout out to my editor Ed. His link will be down in the description, along with Kirisha, who helped me come up with some ideas. So with all that said, guys, I'm out. Peace.